Welcome to Claire and her books. It is time to talk about what shenanigans we're going to get up to in September for spooky season, which is the best season. It's really the only season. Just kidding. I'm obsessed with the beach, so I can't say that. But I've got a lot. I'm trying to pack a lot. But it's going to be great. Yeah, it's weird because I'm so excited about what I've been reading this month. I cannot wait to do this review video for August reads because I still have 5 books left. I already have 3 5-star reads. There are 3 in a row. I don't give out 5 stars easily. I just don't. Can't wait to talk about them. It's so hard to not do it right now. Oh my god. Let me talk about next month's books so that I can stop having a hard time not spilling the beans on what I've been reading these last couple of weeks. Also, hi, hello. So this is not my house. I'm staying with family for a while, so I'm very limited on what I can do as far as decor, but with a little bit of masking tape, it's better than it was. And shout out to anybody who knows what this little guy is. I know he's far away, but he's a mandrake root. Most of my books are not here yet. They are in the mail. They are on their way. It takes a little bit longer to get things when you're buying used books online. So I will start with the 2 that I do have, and we'll move on from there. First up, I talked about this in my super specific TBR video. This is the second book that I'm reading for my African fantasy exploration phase. Here she is in all her beauty. It is Akata Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. I am listening to an audiobook by her right now called Remote Control, which is super interesting. It's kind of just growing on me as I go, and it's getting me hyped up to read another book by her. This book is sort of about a girl who doesn't feel like she perfectly fits in everywhere. She was born in New York, but she lives in Nigeria, and she is Nigerian, but she's albino. And then she discovers that she's magical, and now she's with a group of other magical people who are changing reality, it says. And I don't know what that means, but they're also trying to track down a magical career criminal together. And I don't know, that sounds like it might be a found family thing, which I love because my found family where I am currently has saved me. I just place a lot of value on the family that you choose for yourself, so I'm a sucker for it. I believe this is YA. This looks like YA to me, and it's about 350 pages. I'm stoked for this one. Ursula K. Le Guin has a little spiel on here about how good it is, and I trust her, so I'm excited. The next one, I have no idea what it's about. I am choosing to go in completely blind. I have not read the blurb. My brother sent this to me for reasons that will become obvious momentarily. It is The Book of Elsewhere. Keanu Reeves co-wrote this book with, I'm the worst. I don't know how to say this. I know it's not Mieville, but I'm just gonna say that until I figure out. I will come back and I'll put it up here how you actually say it, because I'm a jerk and I need to start Googling author names before I film these. Anywho's, apparently Keanu has written some graphic novels, but I love Keanu. Who doesn't love Keanu, first of all? I love anybody who is a role model and makes it cool to be nice while still being a baddie. We need more people like that. I'm curious what this is gonna be like, because as far as I know, this is Keanu's first book. Anyways, I'm not gonna read the actual blurb because I don't want to know. I'm sorry. I don't want to know before I go into this, but I will say this little review thingy is interesting to me. It says, a mind-blowing epic from Keanu Reeves and author whose name I cannot pronounce. Unlike anything these 2 genre-bending pioneers have created before, inspired by the world of the Berserker comic books. I don't know. I'm curious. I'm nervous. I want it to be good. If this book is a great time, and if it's done well, it will definitely be the biggest surprise of next month's wrap-up. If I had not a goldfish brain, I would not have my phone on the screen like this, but if I look down and read the info about a book and then try to look up and tell it's already gone. It's so bad. Anyways, the next book I've got is the last book for my mini TBR of African fantasy. It was difficult narrowing it down to 3, but this is kind of the one that I kept going back to in my mind every time I went over the list, and it just felt right. So I did order A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. This one sticks out to me. It's a duology, and I've never read a duology before. I'm just reading the first book for now, but I'm really curious how the pacing is affected when it's a duology versus a standalone or a trilogy. So that will be fun. It's about 460 pages, and this one just sounds like there's a lot of representation, which gets me hype. I have a lot of anxiety, and this main character, one of the main characters, supposedly has a lot of anxiety and panic attacks, but this is a high stakes book. So I'm very, very, very curious to see how this is going to be represented in such a ginormously intense storyline. Because us anxiety folks have a hard time just with little tiny things sometimes. So I really hope this is done well. Seeing books like this that are making it a priority to talk about some of the things that plague a lot of us, but things that are not talked about enough, like that gets me really excited. So I am really looking forward to reading this. The next one just makes me do this. I read my first vampire book. Yes, this month I read my first vampire book, and it's different. It's not like typical gothic, sexy vampire. Yeah, it's different. That was Vampires of El Norte, and it's so good. But it's getting me excited. Now we're gonna go the opposite direction and do just like stereotypical vampire novel, and it's A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. 250 pages, 235 pages. Oh boy, this is just going to be a feel-good book. I am thrilled about this selection. Narrowing down vampire books to read, there's so many choices, but people will not stop talking about this book, and that's a good sign sometimes. Akatar. But this is about one of the brides of Dracula. Dark, gothic, sultry, mischievous, all the things you want in a vampire book. It's here, and I cannot wait. This next book was recommended highly by Willow Talks Books, who is phenomenal. You should go watch all of her videos because she's very smart. She's very smart. She knows what she's talking about with books. Girl knows her stuff. Anyways, this is The Witches of Vardo by Anya Bergman. It's a little bit of a different route, which sells me on anything. The blurbs on this are just vague enough that I can never remember the specifics, but I don't really want to anyways. I honestly do like knowing less rather than more when going into a book. The story is set in Norway in the 1600s. It's about a small group of women in the age where if you look at the wrong person, if you breathe wrong, you are suddenly accused of being a witch. Good times, right? It sounds like it's kind of a story about how all of these women come together, what they do to be accused of witchcraft, and how they choose to fight back because they're not having it. Also, like, there are actually witches in the book. I'm not sure if the ones that are accused are witches or not, but irregardless, even if they are, leave them alone and let them live their lives. People are captured, put in fortresses, trying to find people in the woods. It just sounds delightful. Next up, I want this one to be good so bad because it sounds so interesting, and it's not a standalone. I do like series. I know some people really only like standalones, but I do like series because if you love the story, you don't want it to end. Remember how sad we all were when the last Harry Potter came out? It's devastating. This book is Queens of Moirai by Rhiannon and Hargadon. All you really need to know about this is it's a dark fantasy retelling of the Grim Reaper. But the Grim Reaper is a lady Tell me one part of that does not sound like it's doing this to me. I cannot wait for this book. On Storygraph also, just looking at the moods of things, it says dark, tense, and mysterious are the top moods, which are my top moods in my stats. I love that. And it says it is a mix of character-driven and plot-driven, which is perfect for me. This is going to be a good time. I don't care. Even if it's bad, I'm going to like this. Next up is one I really don't know much about, but it's just stuck with me that I wanted to read it. Apparently, there is this series for a younger audience called Lockwood and Company, and people love it. I never heard of it growing up, but I was very, 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 very sheltered. So that does not surprise me, but I want to give it a go because I like reading some younger stuff just to break it up. So I'm going to read book 1 called The Screaming Staircase, which also just like how, oh, that sounds so fun. That just sounds so fun. If I like it, there are so many books after it. I am set for all of September and October if I like this series. I ordered my first graphic novel, and nobody is more surprised than me. I've never been particularly interested in them, and I think that's just because I hadn't really heard people talk about them in a way that was appealing, and I didn't realize how broad and diverse of a selection there was. This one I came across and I just immediately impulse bought it, which is bad, but I'm happy about it. But it's M is for Monster by Talia Dutton. I don't know that much about it. I think somebody said it's Frankenstein-esque. I truly bought it for the cover art. That was it. That was all I needed. And I love this style of art, which makes me think, why am I not already into graphic novels? So there's a lot of pressure on this one for me because I want to love it real bad so that I can spiral into a dizzying journey of obsessive graphic novel reading. I want that for myself. I feel like I'm going to end up reading this the day it arrives in the mail, honestly. I don't think I'm going to have any self-control here. My Studio Ghibli book, I haven't picked it yet. I'm working on Kiki's delivery service right now, and then I'm going to watch the movie tonight. I haven't picked yet. I really want to sit down and look at my options and take my time making that decision, so I'll order it soon, but I don't know which one. Then for audiobooks, I'm just going to be ambitious until it is proven that I need to take it down a notch. The first audiobook that I have picked, I decided to tack on another spooky season guide just because it sounds too good to not. Here we are. So this is a compilation of stories from very highly regarded authors. So 25 authors, 25 classic stories to celebrate the Night of the Dead. Amongst our purveyors of deceit, dread, and death are Lovecraft, Poe, Stoker, M.R. James, Saki, Edith Nesbit, Mary Shelley, Blackwood, Dickens, who use their rabid pens of painful words to wound our senses in varied, unending, and mysterious ways. It's just a bunch of stories by these authors, put together and narrated by a bunch of people. Gisela Rowe, Richard Mitchley, by a bunch I mean 3, and Gideon Wagner. This just sounds just like Halloween fun, and most of these authors I have not tried yet because I am scared of classics, because so far I don't like a lot of them. So I think this will be great. If there's a way for me to like classics, it is through Halloween stories. So this is the way. I also am trying to do a nonfiction every month. So I was leaning towards Viola Davis's autobiography because people have really good things to say about that, and also I love her. So that's definitely in the running. I just want to browse a little bit and see what else is on Everand or Libby for nonfiction. And then Gabby, my book best friend, who's phenomenal, she wants to do The Godfather, which I'm so down for. We're going to do Godfather audiobook, but it is long. So there's a lot happening. I'm questioning myself a little bit, but why not try? I'm just going to try to get through everything. So yes, for audiobooks, it's supposed to be 25 short little classics altogether, nonfiction, and The Godfather. Holy moly. Gosh darn it. Wow. Books are ruling my life right now. That is everything. I'm gonna go because I need to read a lot of Black Sun today. And I'm kind of struggling with it so far. Not for real struggling, but I've got to make myself read it. I'm not hooked yet. It's early on because I'm struggling with it and I'm not getting that much done at a time. But I've got to finish Kiki's Delivery Service today, and then I need to watch Kiki's Delivery Service tonight. All good things. This is a great problem to have. So on that note, I will see you all in the next video. Stay safe, stay cozy, stay happy. See you guys later.